Let's apply those new definitions of sine, cosine, and tangent that we learned in the last video. So example number 4 says if the terminal side of theta in standard position contains the point 8, negative 15. So let's start by graphing that point. So let's say this is 8, this is negative 15. Doesn't have to be perfect. So 8, negative 15 would be about there. Now let's graph our terminal side through that point. So this would be our R. And now we can make a right triangle out of this, where this would be our X. Side to side is always the X, which in this case, our X value, let's write it down, is 8. And then Y is always up and down. So our Y value is negative 15. And then it says, using this, we need to find the value of all 6 trig functions. So I'm going to start by getting all of these written down. Okay, now just like we did in the second video, we have 2 sides of my triangle but not the third. So once again, I can use Pythagorean's theorem to solve for the third side. But in this case, the 2 little sides are now X and Y, and the big side is R. So I plug in my X. That's 8 squared. Plug in my Y is negative 15 squared. Don't forget the parentheses. And I'm solving for R squared. So 8 squared is 64. Now, do not forget the parentheses on this part right here. If you don't put parentheses when you square negative 15, it'll give you a negative answer, and that's wrong. It should be a positive 225. Now if I add those together, I get 289. Now square root them to solve for R. So I get R is the square root of 89, which I believe is 18. So now we know R equals 18. Now that I have this whole triangle filled in, I want you guys to use the new definitions that we came up with in the first video that we have right here to fill in what all of these values would be. So pause the video, try doing that part on your own, and then come back and see how you did. First off, I lied to you. Sorry about that. Square root of 289 is 17, not 18. That was my bad. So R should be 17. So you should be able to go in all your answers, and anytime there's an R, just change it from 18 to 17. Anyway, so sine is Y over R from our new definitions. So my Y value was negative 15. My R value was 17. Cosecant is just that flipped. Cosine is now X over R. So I have my X value, which is 8, and my R value, which is 17. Secant is just that flipped. And then tangent is Y over X, so my Y value is negative 15, and my X value is 8, and then cotangent is just that flipped. So that's how we do problems using our new definitions. In the last video that we have for today's lesson, we're going to go over something called special right triangles.